Hey guys, back for season 2 of Out the Top. Typically, rock racing. Today we're in Talladega, Alabama for the Top Trails Southern Bounty Series National Championship race. We're back. We got Dan Carter with us. I know it seems like it's been a long time, but it's only been
a few weeks. 3
or 4 weeks.
Yeah. Last time we kind of give a PRI update about us going to Indianapolis just to check out the PRI show. It was one of those things that was just on our bucket list, and went and had a great time, and now we're here. It seems like the weather hasn't changed much. It's still a little chilly, but we're excited to see these people fight over this $50,000 for this season finale.
Well, we were here in the spring, and Dan came over and got to watch some of it and get some video, but I didn't get to see an ounce of what goes on here at these events. So we thought it would be a good way to break in the new year, new season. Obviously we're still rock racing, don't get me wrong, but I want to try and get out and see some more different stuff.
Right. That,
include more of the community, I guess, in what we're doing, and just get out and meet people.
And with our rock racing schedule, we have a couple of different series that we run, and normally at most we're going to do 10, 15 events. So we're trying to broaden the spectrum per se, just to give you guys a little bit more idea of what we like to do behind the scenes. And growing up in the South, mud's one of them, and sometimes we just hate the mud, but it's fun watching everybody else do it. And it's one of those events.
I despise the mud, but these machines are built for it.
Right.
We posted a video yesterday of the portal on the Punisher,
right.
Biggest UTV in the world, they call it.
Right.
It's got portals into portals. That stuff is just unreal down here. It's everywhere. It's just cool to see the different groups.
And there's from what I understand, they've got 3 pits, and we're going to have some racers on here in a little bit, and they're going to help explain this a little bit better than I can. But they're running multiple pits, multiple classes. I've got multiple tire sizes. They've got quads. They've got UTVs. So it is going to be a fun-filled, action-packed day.
There's going to be a lot of different content coming out in the next few weeks that kind of circles around this. Tony's been on the show a couple times. Really appreciate him letting us come out, and he's been so gracious to us every time we've been around. They fed us the other night. So we like to try and support the people who support the sport.
Right.
Whether that be hill climbing, mud bogs, U4, or anything. So we're going to take just a minute, and we're going to come back, and we're going to have a guest on with us, our first guest of season 2 of Out the Top. All right, guys, we are back. We've got a special guest with us. You all have probably seen her on King of the Hammers coverage, Ultra 4 coverage. She is down here this weekend, going to be doing some announcing. Miss Pam Hall's with us. So tell us, how did you get, you're more known for not what we do, but rock sports.
Right.
This is not rock sports.
Correct. This is mud.
This is mud.
100% all mud. I mean, they have 3 different pits over there that they'll be running all at the same time. But how I got into this is I was up at PRI. I was having dinner with Brian Fulcher and that whole entire crew, and he sent me a message later on wanting to know, hey, you should talk to Tony about coming and working some of the Southern Bounty series. And so here I am.
Right.
Tony, we were just talking about Tony. Tony's a good dude. He's been more than gracious with us. I don't get to go to as many of his events as I like to, because he's more, I don't know, there's a lot of Texas, and it's too daggone far for me. I like to stay close to home. But Tony's been really good, and I think we talked a little bit last night. I think you said this is your first actual Southern Bounty.
Correct. Correct. So my first time I've ever even watched this happen in person was last year at Mid-America at Visions for 2022, and they did that Mud Nasty event. I actually was calling the races with Dustin Jones, and seeing this in person is totally different than seeing it on YouTube and that kind of stuff. But the amazing thing too about all this, being new to this, you guys are new to it. I love y'all's sport too. The rocks,
appreciate it.
That sport is a whole nother ball game in itself. My background's desert, so going desert to, working Ultra 4 was different.
Yeah.
And then, now here I am at a mud event.
Right.
Nobody likes the mud, but what's really cool though is they have like 5 different classes. So they have kids classes that have like small tires. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if y'all know, I was trying to do some research on this because being new to it.
Well, that's we were talking about. We have no idea. I mean, we have a general, but we have no idea what actually is
what it is.
What it is.
Right.
They do have limitations. I was talking to Tony about some stuff last night. I'm like, okay, so how does this work if this happens and this and that? So kind of going through rules and everything. But like with they go by tire size.
Yeah.
So, the kids are, they can only be up to 35.5-inch tire or smaller, and they have to be 13 years or younger for the kids class. That's the small tire class. But then they have an actual small tire class that's the same exact size, but there's not an age.
Right. Okay.
Right. Okay.
So that helps us out a little bit because we were just under the impression like we knew that there were tire sizes, but I didn't even know that they had a youth class. So that's awesome to know because we were talking earlier that the kids are the future for any type of series, and it's good to see the parents help get these kids involved because, like we said, that they are the future of the sport.
Exactly. And what's really cool too is some of the kids that race Ultra 4, this is their background is the mud.
Yeah.
And they're out here racing, so it's cool to see them, racing at Ultra 4, getting a whole different kind of driving style in, and then coming here, doing their normal mud. But the class that really amazes me though is the unlimited class. Their tires they can't be any smaller than 60 inches.
Well,
so it's 60 inches and above.
While you were saying the small tire class was a 35.5 and down.
That's for the kids. Yep.
That's a big tire.
Yeah, it is.
That's a big tire. We run on 30s and 32s.
Right.
Of course, like I said, nothing is the same. Nothing translates really, but it's just amazing that that's their
minimum.
Yeah,
exactly. Their minimum. Right. I mean, a lot of people, look at your daily drivers. A lot of the trucks run 35s.
Yeah.
Right. They're running, that's their, 35 or smaller. The medium tire class, that one is a 36 to 45-inch tire, so they can't be below or above that size. So something I was talking to Tony about last night, he's like, if somebody disputes a tire size, we'll go and measure it. I'm like, that's awesome. Like, you actually, they don't do like a heavy tech, but they just have these easy requirements that, here it is. And then you got your big tire class, it's, 45 to 59.5 inches. And it's like, but like I said, that 60 plus, go stand next to him. So Tony's son, he runs his is what, 83 inches on his buggy?
It's massive.
So. It's bigger than I've normally seen on a side-by-side or a UTV. It's crazy.
So you come out on that machine, you come out of the transmission, out of the diff, into, it's either a 4 or 6 inch portal. And then straight out of that, so your first axle is about 6 inches long. Then you come out of that portal into another probably 12-inch box. Like that thing's got 8 portals on it. That's just, we seen it down here in the spring, and I walked around it then, and I was like, what in the world? And it's built well. In the spring, they didn't get to run it. I'm hoping it gets to run it today.
Yeah, I'd love to see that thing in action. We'll definitely get some footage of that, and if nothing else, we'll do a walk around, try to put that out on social media for everyone to see. But these machines are just crazy.
They're massive.
Right.
It's amazing. Like, just a little bit of details. I was over at Team Momentum's, looking at their stuff, and they're the first ones I've ever seen do this.
Right.
They're the ones that also have, the kids that are running Ultra 4 as well. So it's like going over there and looking at the I don't know, what do you call them? You call them the rig or whatever they call them. It's just like it's amazing. It's amazing the time and effort put into keeping them. How do you keep them so clean?
That is a question that I had that I was probably going to ask some of these racers
SC1,
today.
baby.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Maxima SC1.
That is the best. That'll make anything look brand new again.
That's right. But as far as questions go, that was one of my main questions because to me, that is the part of the sport, of any sport, that I dread the most is cleanup day. So, these guys hit the mud like it's nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they carry a good bit of it back home with them. So what is their regimen for cleaning and how long does it take? And it's got to be
all of them look
day.
brand new.
They do.
They look brand new.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how do they keep them looking so clean?
I don't know.
And they don't even look like they touched the mud. They look like show vehicles.
Yeah.
Well, I did see in the spring, we were set up over in the vendor area, and there was one come through, and they're like, "Yeah, that kid just went through the hole." I was like, "It's spotless."
Right.
So I don't know if they're Cerakoting them things and then running them over to a pressure washer they got at their trailer or what?
Well, I saw some pressure washers over
Yeah.
here. There is a few products out there that I know some racers use to try to keep their stuff clean.
Right.
But I'm going to give an example. Rush, Kentucky, it gets muddy, right?
Yeah.
We all know
Right.
that.
Yeah.
So, but at our Ultra 4 races, it always seems like it's always muddy when we go there. The Bleilers, for some reason, their cars are always, you can still see them on the side. I'm like, how come you can't see these cars, but you can see yours? I can't remember the product right now, but there was a product that they used that I had never heard of on their vehicle.
We need to make some phone calls.
Like maybe these guys, maybe that's what they're using. I don't know.
Could be.
But yeah, and then okay, so let's go back to this. So they have 3 different races they're running at the same time out here. There's 3 different holes, and they're 3 different sizes.
Right.
And this whole entire sport, to me, is insane.
Right.
I mean, y'all have seen it. Obviously, you've been here, but I'm like, it's like drag racing in the mud and water.
Yeah.
Right.
So when I was a kid, we had Volkswagen rails, and my dad done this, but on a smaller scale. It was more of a mud skimming kind of deal. We were doing county fairs and stuff. We couldn't dig big holes like this, but we'd done that years ago, and I always enjoyed it as a kid because they were what we run then. I say a kid, I was probably 7 or 8 years old, but we run, I think, like what would be the outlaw class.
Okay.
That it wasn't. You didn't have to have big tires. It was more like, I guess, it was mud drag racing.
Right. Yeah.
And so, like, I've got a few things of my dad's and a couple things that I cherish the most. I've got 2 of his old trophies from like 1988.
That's
Oh,
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, doing the old mud runs. So this
is
brings
cool.
me back to when I was about that tall.
Right. Yeah, that's cool. It's cool to be able to feel that and to be here. There's going to be so much going on, but you coming from an Ultra 4 background, desert, and then transferring into the Ultra 4 stuff and doing the announcing, there's going to be so much going on today. So what kind of game plan have you got to kind of control the chaos as far as being announcing for this event for today?
Well, I was talking to Tony about this last night. He's going to have a mic as well, so we're going to kind of bounce off each other.
Good deal.
And I was talking to him about, the lineup and everything, because, like I said, never done this before.
Right.
So their lineup, they run as their lineup goes. So
Right.
whoever it says it's supposed to be next on that paper is going to be next.
Right.
So that's going to help out a lot. Game plan of, the day, just going to wing it.
A good deal. That's what I heard. I was like, they're just going to
That's
throw
what
this
we
Pam
always
to the
do.
wolves.
We
You
just
know what?
wing it.
I'm going to be honest. The first time I ever did any announcing on a camera was at Crandon.
Oh,
my goodness.
Lord.
Yes, exactly, right? So, like, I was already prepared for it, but I had never done it before in my life. So, talk about being thrown to the wolves. I mean,
Right.
it's Crandon.
Yeah.
That would be wild.
But it was a blast. So, and I like challenges. And today is going to be a challenge because there's going to be 3 races going on at the same time.
Right.
So, I don't know. I work well under pressure usually, so we'll see how this goes.
Yeah.
Well, I think it would not be doing it would be doing a in service to our show if I don't ask you this while you're here.
Okay.
Our last 2 episodes, we talked a lot about the U4 Mid-America, what's going on there. There's been some announcements, I guess, since then. When we left off season 1, it was uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
What can you tell us about Ultra 4 King of the Hammers? Do you know exactly like is Dave getting it back? Is he taking control? Do you know, or is there anything you can tell us that maybe we don't know?
I honestly, what you guys have seen on the internet, and if you watched that one podcast that Dave was on last week, I mean, that's the information I have. I don't have any inside information. I obviously, King of the Hammers and Ultra 4 were separate. Now,
Right.
I'm pretty sure he's got it back. I'm not 100% how
The
it
announcement
works.
was, and for those of you who are listening, there was an announcement. We posted that Hammer King did take back control of U4 with support from Mid-America. What that means, we'll see.
We'll see, yeah. And honestly, okay, so I've worked for Mid-America the last 2 years. I did all their short course announcing. I did, I obviously had a counterpartner with me, and then I worked with Miles for all the Ultra 4 USA stuff. So whatever goes on with Ultra 4 next year, I really hope to be back with it, because like these guys are my family.
Right.
These guys, you guys know, like they're your family members, and I felt like I just went through divorce and I can't talk to my parents anymore. Like, that's
how I felt. And we discussed this last night, kind of off camera, that this was just a speed bump for U4, and from here on out, it's going to be positive results, and it probably help grow the sport more, and it bring that camaraderie back. And I feel like it was a necessary thing to happen for the sport to grow a little more, and I feel like we're going to see good results from that.
Right, and like we were talking too last night too, like, every race was growing last year. It was it was a growing sport. It's a fun sport, and the more that it gets out there, the more people want to go race it, right? So, and I mean, in King of the Hammers this year that's coming up, I mean, I leave in 9 days or something for it, so I'll be out there, and I'll hopefully get some more information of what's going to maybe happen with Ultra 4 next year. Like I said, I hope I'm back with it, because it's my passion. I wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't a passion of mine. Right. And feel like everybody that I've met and has came into my life are my family members. So I think it'll be good. Everything's gonna be good. I mean, nothing negative. There's no negative whenever I was at Mid-America or anything with that. It was all positive and growing. But things happen. I don't know the reasoning behind everything, but things happen.
Well, we're going to send you to Hammers with a petition to bring back the backdoor shootout.
Oh, that would be awesome.
We're us East Coast guys are pretty sad.
Are you sure that there's already not one going? I mean,
well, we're going to start another one.
I think Facebook pretty much has got that petition going on. I know the shootout was so much fun. I have to be honest with you guys. Like, the first couple years I went and worked Hammers, I would go to it, but I just decided to watch it from Hammertown after that, because I would go out there and freeze and
I'm sure
fight the crowd.
The last couple years, everybody liked backdoor. Backdoor was a short course, but it was what we do.
Yeah.
It reminded us of our hill climbs. And so we really loved that. Everybody remembers Bobby Tanner going out there in 18 seconds or whatever it was. And we missed that. Dave Cole, are you listening? Next year.
I'm sure he's heard everybody wants backdoor back.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yep.
But
we appreciate you coming on, talking to us for a few minutes. We'll let you go get ready for your day.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me. It was awesome.
We'll be around.
Okay. I'll see you later.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you, ma'am.
Shoot ya. Put them on where you can hear us over that generator, and you may have to pull that in. Huh?
I can hear you. I pull this.
Yeah, you might want to get that a little closer. It's kind of that generator going in the back. All right, bud. I'm Bryant. That's Dan.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, sir.
What's your name? Where are you from?
My name's Dane. I'm from Clayton, North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Yes, sir.
What are you? I guess you're a driver, right?
Yes.
You drive. What do you run? What class and all that?
We run the big tire and the medium tire.
Tell me it's a Polaris.
It is.
Good.
It is.
Good. So this is our first. We're usually hill climb stuff. Okay. So this is our first venture into this. I don't know. Give us some. Tell us a little bit about it.
It's a lot of fun. Right now, it's a little more cold than I'd want it to be.
Well, I asked Tony, whose idea it was to have a mud bog in 30-degree weather.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Tony's events are very organized, and they move pretty quickly, so they don't keep people here too long.
Well, that's what we've seen. We've done some hill climbs with him before, and he likes to keep things rolling and on the go.
Right. Yeah. Everything's always been smooth transition from one to the next, and it's always been seamless. And I don't see how he controls the chaos like he does. But from a racer standpoint, how much stress is put on you throughout the race day, as far as jumping from one class to the other? How does that work for your race program?
Well, with the way Tony does it, everything moves so fast-paced. You know, you have to have the bikes warmed up, and you know they'll be running medium tire while they'll be running big tire, and the ATVs at the same time. So my partner Cameron over there, he keeps my bikes running for me.
Good deal.
And you know we can get to it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about the actual machines that you run.
Okay, so our big tire bike is 2021 Pro XP, and we got the Dirty T lift on it, big lift, run Cobra axles, and it's pretty much all stock motor, stock transmission, Super ATV portals on it. and it's a very good bike. It's been very well for us. The smaller bike that we have is basically all stock as well, just our trail bikes. We will get done riding, and we're actually talking about riding them tonight after the mud pit. If they're still holding together, we're going to go find some mud in the woods.
There you go.
From what we seen last night, there's no shortage of that here.
Right. Yeah,
No.
we were trying to figure out the lay of the land last night, and from what we understand is this park has got a hillside, and then it's got, I guess you would say, like a swampy side to it. And we found some mud over at the hillside, just riding some of those lower trails in the lower bottoms, but they say some of this stuff is soupy over here in the swampy area.
It is. I fell off in my trail bike. We have just bought a 2022 Pro R and fell off in some mud yesterday and almost didn't make it out.
Yeah.
Those are the worst parts because my friends like to get videos pulling me out, so he didn't have to this time.
Yeah. Hold that over your head. Videos don't go away.
Yeah. All right. So something else, like this is I guess the championship event.
Yes, sir.
So how is that? I'm trying to think how to ask this. How is that? Is that is it a season long deal, or is this just like a major in golf? You know what I mean?
This is a season long thing.
Okay.
It's a point series,
Yeah.
so you gotta make every race to place high. Fortunately, we're in second. Some of that's due to our competitors breaking. And
Hey, take it where you can get it.
But we place high every time.
Good deal.
But we'll take it where we can get it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
everybody out there we're racing are really good people, so we hate to see stuff like that happen.
So where are you sitting in both classes?
Well, medium tire, we've only run one race,
Oh, okay.
just to have some fun. The big tire class, we are currently in second.
Cool. It looks like a good time. I'm trying to talk. That's what we need to build next.
Yeah. And just as far as your race gear, I would look like the kid off of A Christmas Story. Was it Ralphie?
Yeah.
Like I don't know if I could do the cold.
No, it's horrible.
I'd be the guy like the spring chicken. You know, I'm all in it spring summertime, but man, it gets close to Christmas time. It has to start bundling up. I would
Yeah.
be. I'd fall off the bike, look like a cork out there just bobbing around.
I feel bad for the ATVs. I feel like those guys would get more.
Oh, it's bad. Last time in this hole, I actually slipped off the footstep of the bike, landed right face first in the mud.
Oh no!
Come up looking like the swamp.
So when we were down here in the spring, we come. I guess it was Thursday morning, and just kind of walked around the pits, and there's like all kinds of shoes in there.
A lot of Crocs.
Yeah, there's a lot of Crocs in there. I was like, golly, don't let me get too close to that thing. It'll be wet and cold.
Oh yeah.
People slide in all the time.
Oh, I'd say so. That's man, that's what we ought to do. We ought to put some portals on the old hill killing full body one time. And
We might as well give it a shot.
Polaris base.
yeah, man.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. We Dan runs a 16 turbo. That poor thing has been rode hard and put up wet more times than I care to even talk about. It's probably got 400 miles on it.
Yeah, and every one of them's race miles.
Every one of them's race miles. She looks rough, but she's old trustees. It's been around the block, so it's been survival racing, like endurance racing. We've done hill climbs and courses and portals.
Yeah.
We'll bring it to one, throw it in there.
Might as well give it a shot. At least
Make
once.
sure it's got a good tow hook on the front of it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Right on, man. We'll keep we'll look for you throughout the day, and hopefully you get some good runs in. And are you in the hunt? Like, can you win the championship?
If my buddy Gage Wells doesn't show up for some reason,
Well,
there's a chance.
at least there is a chance.
But I don't want that to happen. He's worked hard for it.
No, it's
Yeah, kind of like how we are in rock racing. Like, we want to beat you at your best. So
but if it happens, it happens.
But
I
Yeah,
get it.
we'll take it if we get it. I mean,
Right on, man. We'll watch for you throughout the day. We're gonna hang around here and get some video. We're gonna try and get some more guys up here and talk to them throughout the day. So,
well, if you decide you want to build a Polaris mud bike, let us know. We can certainly help you out.
dude, we'll get her done.
Appreciate that.
Right on, man. Appreciate you coming by, stop and
Yes,
talk to us. We'll hope you get the big trophy at the end of the day, man.
I hope so too.
Oh, yeah.
Right on, man.
Yeah.
Thanks, Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. If you would, go ahead and tell everybody how to find you on social media. That way they can keep up with you.
We're Big Rig Power Sports. And just look up us on Instagram, Facebook.
Right on.
Yeah,
or
man.
Southern Bounty Series.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right on, man.
Good talking to you.
Yes,
Thanks,
sir.
dude.
Appreciate it.
Chili.
All right, so like I said, we're going to have several guests throughout the day. Right now, we've got another guest with us. What's your name? Where are you from?
My name is Bryson Robinette. I'm from Geneva, Alabama.
Now, you Tony said you run the big tire class.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little bit about your machine.
I have a Pro XP. It's cheetah print. I run for PATV. I have all their setup and everything, and I have a built motor and a new tune put on it.
Ooh, yeah. We like horsepower.
Oh, yeah. So, Tony called you the Mud Diva. We got to know where you got that nickname from.
When I was little, I had a little like toy race car, I guess, and
Right.
Mom had a shirt made that said the Mud Diva, so then I just got the name from that.
Right on, yeah. So as far as you being one of the few females in the big tire, where are you sitting at as far as the championship and points?
I'm sitting at third right now. At the start of the season, I was tied for first, but had a bit of a setback, but we're coming back.
Yeah. So there's actually enough points left on the table for you to win it this
I
weekend?
can get in second. That's as high as I can get.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a good goal to set. I mean, for second for the season is not too shabby. Anytime you can get on the podium, it's always a good time.
Anytime you can load it on the trailer,
yeah.
Right.
it's a good time. It makes it even better when you get to take a trophy home.
Yeah. So a question that we've had that we've not asked anybody yet: how do you keep these machines so clean?
My dad.
Okay, so it's,
That's a good answer.
yeah, so Dad does all the work as far as when you get home. As far as working on the machine, does he undertake that as well, or is he
No,
you help him out in the shop?
Mine goes to Destin Andrews. He has a big part into it, as well as the PATV people, Brent Ritchie, Kevin Bird. They help a lot with it. My dad doesn't really know what he's doing. He just knows how to clean it. So.
Hey,
How you got to get in where you fit in.
as long as you got good mechanics somewhere in the line, it don't matter how it gets done or who does it, as long as it's done.
Right. Were you on social media? How can our viewers find you?
I have Facebook and TikTok. It's at the Mud Diva. So.
Okay.
Right on. We'll make sure to get out there and give you a follow. You can look for this is actually going to be a podcast, and then we'll have it out on YouTube probably sometime midweek as well. So hope you have a good day today.
Y'all too.
Get you a trophy or two at the end of the day.
Hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hey,
There you
that's
go.
what it's about. Well, thanks for coming out.
Thank you for having me.
Hopefully we'll get to see you at more of these. We're going to try and start hitting a few more mud events. So we'll look for you.
Thank y'all.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
That generator's.
I ain't never done nobody. That was done.
Well, you'll be all right.
It's easy peasy.
You will have to hold this though because of the generator.
Yeah, that generator's.
Just keep that mic close to your mouth.
Do what?
I said he cashed me about $80,000 worth of my money.
Okay, guys, back again. We've got another guest with us. Tell everybody your name. Where are you from?
I'm Braxton Langston. I'm from Defuniak Springs, Florida, and was born in Memphis, Tennessee. So me and my grandmother come up this way, and she met her husband, and so we decided to stay in Florida where it's a little bit warmer at.
I don't blame you. It'd be a good place to be
Yeah,
today.
especially today. Bill, I'm sure the weather's a lot warmer down there. So Tony said that you have got a target on your back, and this weekend is you're gonna show them who the boss is.
I'm gonna do my best, man. I really do this for, like I said, for fun. You know, you really can't help the outcome. You know,
Right.
but like I can't help. I do all, like I said, I do all my own work in my house and my shop, and they perform very well out here, and you know, and everybody loves it, and I love everybody coming to watch me and doing. And these kids, you know, they come into this and they're starting to grow into this, and you know, I love to be a part of that, you know, and just get my name out there. You know, that's why I come to do this and enjoy myself.
Well, tell us a little bit about what class you run, and tell us a little bit about your machines.
Okay, so last year we really got into racing. I started off on small tire because I really couldn't afford the big tire stuff. It's really expensive.
Right.
So I really made my name last year on small tire.
Okay.
You know, I was Barger of the Year, stuff like that, and you know, my nickname's Wild Bill, so they call me Wild Bill.
There you go.
So you know, I really made my name last year, and it was high voltage. The bike was, I named it, and you know, I got some help from others, saved up, and built me my big bike problem child. You know, and it's really like performed this year. Now, a lot of expectation. You know what I'm saying? It's high for the bike. You know,
Right.
and it's just done really good and shown his name. You know, so.
What kind of machines are they?
Oh, it's a Renegade. It's a
Okay.
Renegade with a PCF lift and all on it. The Super ATV portals.
Okay.
Fuel wheels. You know, like I say, I built the motor, tuned the clutches and stuff like that, and put all the nitrous on it. So it's a big bore motor and all. It runs on alcohol.
So you mean business? So no wonder you've got a target on your back.
Yes, sir.
That's you know, you show up for business. You don't show up to play.
No.
You said it's for pleasure and have a good time, but when you're bringing that to the table, that changes things.
Yeah, but also, like, you know, most people go out and they go down the wrong path. I do this for adrenaline too, you know.
Right. Yeah.
So you paying for like the best adrenaline that you can pay for. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
so
for sure.
All the people around you and stuff like that, and just hanging out with everybody, you know.
Right.
So it's really just, you know, for fun, and it's nice to win.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, and ain't no doubt about that. Everybody loves to win. So, but it's just for hanging out with everybody, just like this stuff, you know.
Right.
Meeting new people, doing new things, traveling. You know, it's all one game. You know, you get all the fun in one thing.
Right.
Well, that's what we do typically. We do it, but it's the rock racing, hill killing
okay.
stuff. So he drives. I watch. So he gets to have all the fun, and me and Jody get to stand back and watch him.
Hey, it takes two to tango.
Hey, it takes a team
Yes.
to do this and do it competitively,
Right.
and stay on top the whole time. I overheard you talking before you come over. You said you really don't have any sponsors.
No, sir.
Just kind of do it on your own.
Yep. I got a few people that help me, you know, here and there. You know what I'm saying? I got a little shirt I wear, you know, to represent them. You know.
Right.
It's just, you know, I want to keep it, you know, as simple as I can keep it, you know, and I don't mind having help, you know, but I just don't want to go too far into it, you know.
Right,
Take the
yeah.
fun out of things.
Oh, for sure, because we've ran into that in the past. We've had, you know, people that have helped us in the past, and they've been like family, and they give us good deals on parts. Well,
Yes.
then you know, they may be caught up in something else and fall behind, and when you need something, you feel like you can count on them, and you know, it just kind of dissolves, and it's like, man, I'm shouting these people out and representing them the best I can, and I don't feel like they're toting the load, and then they have expectations of what they want on social media or out here at race day. So it takes the fun out of things.
Yes.
And sometimes it is better just to do it yourself. But, you know, all help is welcome.
Yeah.
But as long as it doesn't muddy the water,
Yes.
the way I look at it, you know.
Well, we kind of have a little philosophy with our race program. We have some sponsors that help us, but if their stuff's no good,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter if it's free or
No.
discounted.
Right.
Yes, sir.
So
You're correct.
we like to run what we run, and if those companies jump on board later, then so be it.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Um,
Yeah. Amen to that.
So that works better for us. I don't want to sacrifice performance for
No, for
Yeah.
reputation, representing, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
No. You
Right.
run what you feel like you should run on your
Yep.
machines, you
Yep.
know. Whatever the best, everybody's got a different perspective on things,
Right.
you know, and what they feel like they should run and everything else, and you know, it's on your personal opinion, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
Realistically, you know, if you're building your machine, you know, and
All right, we're back. Batteries died. First world problems.
Oh, yeah.
We got them switched out. I don't even remember. Where was we at?
I don't either. I just remember that it was cold. I do remember that.
It is cold.
And we were talking about sponsors helping us out.
So that's what okay. And this is hard to put a number on, I know. And you can tell us if you know, and if you don't want to tell us, that's fine too. We know what it costs to build a hill killing machine.
yes.
What do you think, like ballpark?
What
What is your machine like? What does it take to put it together?
So if you're doing it yourself, if you like buy all the parts and you put it together yourself, or you pay somebody?
Well, just your machine. Let's just say if you've done it,
I've got about 40 grand in it.
Yeah.
that's
That's about that's about what I had figured, because we build our chassis from the ground up, and a lot of our stuff is stock.
Yep.
But if you take a stock chassis
Yep.
and modify it, I could see where you could have 40 to 60 grand easy,
Oh, in
especially
one,
getting in
yeah.
the engine.
Yeah, that's the motor. And that's the whole 9 yards, start to finish. It's about,
That's not. I mean, that's really not.
and it takes a lot to maintain it.
That I believe.
That's the most expensive part. Like,
Yes.
like the initial working on it here and there, you know, that you can save up to accumulate portals, or you can save up for that big bore kit. But when it comes to maintaining it after it breaks, like, that's a have to fix.
Oh yes,
So
transmissions, belts. It's endless. Oil changes,
Oh, dude.
fuel. We run race fuel, so it's expensive.
that's right.
So
Yeah,
it's endless.
we've been down that road.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
So when we were off air a little bit ago, you were talking about you building a new bike for a small tire.
Yes,
You
sir.
want to tell us a little bit about that?
I've been working on it the past few months. The name's Game Changer. It's an Outlander. It's a full frame build like Problem Child was.
Yeah.
And it's on 36. It's on 36s right now. So, it runs pretty hefty. It's been a work in progress. We just got off the dyno Tuesday, and I broke the crank on it.
oh shit.
Oh my goodness.
So I had to rebuild the motor that day and tear it out and put it back in. That's all I'm saying. It's never ending.
Yeah.
It's just to keep them going.
One
So,
thing after another.
Yes, sir. So it's a 2016 too, just like Problem Child.
Right on.
So,
Where are you? I don't think I've asked this. Where are you sitting in the season?
oh, I'm the champion. Like I could not race and win.
Oh,
Oh, well, that's good.
that's a good problem to have.
I'm India, so I ain't trying to brag. It's just
No, dude, own it.
It's
Own it.
But I'm gonna come here and put a show on for the crowd like I always do. You
Okay.
know? And the Lord be with us and bless us and take us home safe today. You know what I'm saying?
Right
for
on.
everybody. So.
Well, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna be around all day, so we'll try and make sure and catch you run, and we'll have all this posted on the internet, and maybe some people will see, and you might get let's hope you get the right opportunity that you would like to have.
Yes, sir.
Right.
We'll put it that way.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
Right on, man.
Yes, sir. Well,
Well, I
Yep.
appreciate you stopping by. We're going to be set up all day probably.
Okay.
So when you get that championship trophy after a while,
Yeah, come back, show
come
it
back,
off.
show it off a little bit, set her on the table, bud.
I'll
Yeah.
do my best.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, y'all have a blessed day, and if y'all need anything, y'all just
Right
hang
on, man.
around.
Same with you.
Appreciate you coming by.
No problem.
Okay, so we done the first part of the episode this morning before the race. We've now been involved all day long.
Right.
What do you think?
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah. Well, I think it's been a good day. I've had a blast. I've almost froze to death, but
It's cold.
But yeah, this morning we had on quite a few guests. We kind of figured out what we were doing and what we were watching. Miss Pam explained to us the tire sizes and the classes. We had some drivers on, and they were able to explain to us what they were running. And we are still waiting to hear the podiums, so we'll have to keep that posted.
Yeah, we'll update that on the socials. Probably, I don't know. We'll post a bunch of that
Yeah.
tonight, but there'll be different content throughout the week dropping.
Right.
Overall, man, it's different.
Yeah.
It's different.
But it's different, but it's the same,
Yeah.
because there is still the camaraderie. We interviewed Braxton Langston earlier this morning, and he's probably one of the most humble guys we've met all weekend.
Oh, and put on a show today too.
Absolutely schooled these guys.
Put on a show.
And he also lent his machine out to several different racers. And it doesn't get any better than that.
And I didn't realize that had took place. I asked Dan, there was one quad running, it seemed like it run 100 times.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's the deal with that one? And you was explaining to me that was actually, is it his?
Yeah.
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 I don't know, that thing was fast though.
Oh man.
I like the little tire, the small tire stuff. I think it was more impressive to me than the big tire
Right.
stuff.
And we saw more action. I think there was more of the smaller tire guys getting bucked off machines and a little bit of carnage going on. And
some of them kids, they had to been freezing to death, man.
Oh, man.
As soon as they get in the water, they'd run up. There's a little spot there, and they'd run up on the bank, and you'll see that in some of the videos. And they just lay right over. And this one kid, I mean, he didn't look 4 foot tall.
Yeah.
But he was mud from head to toe. But no, I like the small quads. A couple of the outlaw guys I liked, but the smaller ones and the medium tires I think were my favorites.
Right.
The big tire stuff was cool, but the big tires and the outlaw guys have got big tires.
Right.
You kind of have to expect them to do well.
Right.
The smaller stuff I think was more impressive. I don't know, made more of a mess. You can look across the mud holes right here, right in front of us.
Right.
And the medium tire hole is just there's stuff thrown everywhere.
Right. And this, you can see that there's a bigger splash zone over there. And I was able to get a little bit of drone footage. And there was one time I thought I was a little bit too close. And it's something different. Like I said, it's different, but it's the same as most sports. You'll see the camaraderie of the racers banding together.
Yeah.
Saw a lot of people helping each other out.
Yeah.
And we did see a little bit of drama, which I thought was cool because you really don't see that much.
No,
But there was I don't know the whole ins and outs of it, but there was a complaint about a tire size. So they contested the win and they measured the tires, and the tires were in spec. So there was a little bit of arguments going on there for a little bit, but once the tape measure was brought out, it is what it is, and it was solved. Right. So but that was cool to see that, because it's still like there was a discrepancy. Somebody thought something was wrong, and it was addressed professionally.
Yeah.
And they all went back to laughing and having a good time. I mean, it wasn't
anytime you have rules, you're going to have people testing the edges of the rules, and I'm not sure. I don't know if they thought the tire was 4 foot too tall, or I don't know how tight that rope is.
Right.
But I couldn't. And I don't know. We don't do this. I shouldn't say this, but I don't know if an inch makes that much difference. Or
I'm with you. I don't know.
I know you got to draw a line somewhere. So
right. Yeah. But given what we've seen today, I don't know what that would have mattered.
No.
With it being an eyeball looking at this tire size, I could understand if it was a 60-inch tire supposed to be running in a small tire class with a max size of 35 and a half inches, but I don't think that you would have gained anything.
That's part of what I like. We don't have no rules,
right? Other
than flags.
Yeah, and then sometimes that one rule can cause a bunch of hiccups.
Yeah, anytime you get rules, you're gonna have stuff like that.
Right.
But no, it's a pretty good day. I enjoyed it. I hope we get to come back again. I don't think Top Trails is on the schedule for the new season next year. But Southern Bounty, I don't know if I'm supposed to say this or not say this. There's going to be some hill climbs coming up next year. Those are in the works, so stay vigilant, and we'll post that as it's released. We've got some details, but we're going to let them release that. So be a good time. I enjoyed it. Tony was, like I said, always good to us.
Right.
Let us have a run of the place this weekend. So
yeah, he was definitely a good host, and fed us well last night. And there's been the red carpet rolled out for us today, and he's always good, level-headed, and no complaints whatsoever on that end. I am excited to hear that he's looking at expanding his series, and can't wait to see what he has in store for everybody for next year.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. Like I said, he's still talking about that $1 million season.
Yeah.
So go back. That's been 4 or 5 episodes ago, or 4 or 5 episodes ago in last season.
Right.
So that's there. We talked about that for a little while. We'll probably won't do nothing next week. Probably the week after. There was a hill climb today. I have not heard or seen anything of it.
I have not.
We will let that be posted, and we'll review that, and we'll talk about that.
Yeah.
If there's anything to talk about, it was a true bounty hill.
Right. Yeah. We had that going on. We had the stuff that happened today with these Southern Bounty Series, so we can do a recap on that, and then also next weekend we are going to Arkansas for the I think it's the Offroad Expo in Arkansas.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things like PRI was a bucket list thing for me, so we'll be able to give you guys a little bit of insight on that, and if anybody wants to go, what you would need to do for the following year if that's something that you want to go and check out.
Yeah, they have a pretty good. I think is it in Little Rock or Hot Springs?
It's in Hot Springs.
Hot Springs. It's a pretty good show. I reckon. I've got some guys that have been the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Since we're not having the national off-road expo anymore, you got to get them where you can.
Right.
And here's Tony. You want to come talk to us? Come on.
Yeah. I guess his ears were burning. He's like, I got to go figure out.
Yeah,
why
we were
my
just
ears are
Y'all
burning.
talking about me.
We were just talking about you.
We were just talking about you.
We were just talking about you. Listen, if nothing else, they'll warm your ears up. Oh, sorry. So, how was it?
Well, it was fast.
Here, take that.
Wind blowing too much for me.
No, I just can't hear you. That generator's got some noise, so we're trying to hide it a little bit.
There we go. No, it was fast. What was it done by 2:30?
Yeah, it was. I was out there filming, and you're looking at this run, and they get about halfway done, and you see something out of the corner of your eye, and you got to turn, and they're back over here running,
Right.
and then they're back over here. Like, it moved quick. There wasn't a whole lot of recovery, other than a few of the ATVs.
Right.
There's a couple of our film guys out there before the race, and last time out there were freezing to death, and I said, well, if you'll just give me a few minutes right here, I'm going to warm you up. We're going to keep you running back.
Yeah.
It definitely built a little heat.
So you've not done the awards yet. So I don't know who won. Do you know who won? Can you tell us?
Chase Duke on Skywalker won the Outlaw race. That was Outlaw ATV side by side. Braxton Langston won the ATV Big Tire. Nathan Parker won the UTV Big Tire. I think Nathan Parker won the ATV Medium Tire. CJ Harris won the UTV Medium Tire. And then the small tire class was Braxton Langston in the small tire class. I'm not sure who won the kids class. I think Cohen Lee, but I'm not sure on that.
That small tire.
That's exciting.
That's legit.
That's my favorite. That's what we were just talking about. That's my favorite.
Yeah, that's legit. And that class is kind of, that's what we call our blue collar class. That's supposed to be the up and coming racers. That you can build your motor in that class. You can run a stretch. You can run portals. But that's the entry level class, and it's stacked. I mean, y'all seen those kids and stuff from there.
Yeah. I mean, they were. We had talked earlier, and you said that you anticipated around 100 racers today, and I feel like there were maybe a little more.
Yeah, they were more.
But I mean, you were able to. I don't see how you keep calm. That was so much going on, but everything was so smooth and transitioned perfectly from one to the next. But like you said, it kept you warm because when one class was running, as soon as they would get done, you run another one.
Yeah, there was no breaks. I mean, it's just wide open.
And that's like we were talking, yesterday, today, last night. When I started the vision of mud racing, we were mud racing, and we were mud racing just locally here. And I wanted a better ran, more professional event for the mud racers instead of everybody just having the perception that we're nothing but a bunch of drunk rednecks. And I ain't taking nothing away from a drunk redneck, but when we're racing, we stay sober. It's like I was talking to the guys before we went racing. There's more to a champion than winning.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm pleased with our champions this year. I'm proud of our champions this year, because it's all a great group of humble. They're good for the sport. They're good individuals.
Right.
And Dan, Bryant, y'all know that I'm trying to move my way into some other disciplines of racing, and I got to go back to our roots with Southern Mountain Series when we started with the mud. I got to go win the racers.
Right.
And I don't want to be just known as a guy that just throws big money at a payout and treats you like garbage. I want to pay you as much as I can, but I also want to treat you as good as I can as a racer. I don't know if y'all noticed, but the fire extinguisher's in place, the EMT on site.
Right.
The last thing I want to do going home we're going to be going home on a Monday this weekend, but going home on a Sunday, knowing that I could have done a little more to help that guy, and I wasn't able because I wasn't prepared.
Well, it looks like you've got a good team in place,
Right.
Especially for this stuff. I mean, all your guys were on it, getting people to the line. If there was a recovery, the Traco was moving
Right.
before.
Yeah.
Most of the time, he knew when something was going bad.
Nobody's afraid to get their hands dirty.
Yeah.
And I mean, it showed with everybody. I mean, your family, all the employees, the staff, everybody. We saw everybody pitching in, and it, like I said, everything is just. I don't see how you do it because it's so seamless. Everybody's got a job. They know what to do, and it went by fairly quickly today. So I mean, there's a lot of sunlight left for everybody to kind of enjoy the afternoon.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I watched the crowd. We held our crowd the entire time.
Right.
They stayed until and to me, anything over about a 2.5, 3 hour race, your crowds, they're going to get tired. This is not a stadium seating. These people are sitting out here in these side by sides. They got a cooler full of beer. They're ready, after they see this, they're ready to go hit a hole themselves.
Right.
And knowing that they have that option and they're not stuck just sitting in a seat, they have an option. So you got to go way above and beyond in trying to show them a good time to keep them involved. And like I said, I've got to figure out a way of winning the course racers. I got to figure out a way of winning the drag bikes, and I got to figure out a way of winning the hill guys. That hill racing is. I come from hill country. I live in the mountains of North Georgia.
Right.
That's what we come into. Started out with ATVs, but when I got a side by side, we started climbing hills. I stepped off into the mud world because to be honest with you, I got tired of being so beat up from flipping over and climbing hills.
Yeah.
Right.
We were doing it when it wasn't cool. There's a lot of safety equipment out there that's offered that wasn't offered to us in 2012, 2013,
Right.
2014. So it's a better option today than it was when I finally said, look, I'm not doing this anymore. Your kidneys bruised. You got to go to work on Monday, your back and stuff. But putting harness devices and things like that in these machines and taking care of these drivers, I think it's something I want to be a part of. I want to see that grow. I think there's room for. I think there's room in the sport for me to get into it.
Right. Absolutely. And it's there's like you said, there's more than enough room for everybody, because what we've experienced with past racers in the hill killing stuff. I can't speak for desert racing or the mud, but a lot of the hill killers, they're blue collar people, like you were saying. They want to run stuff that's close to home. So if you hit anything close to their hometown, they can drag their buddies to the hillside with them and go and race and have a good time, and they necessarily don't have to run a whole entire series.
That's right. And still, that's like with our series. We got I'm gonna say today, out of everybody that raced, in all honesty, we probably didn't have 5 new racers.
Right.
6 new racers. I don't know. There's not that many. Most all of them was raced with us before. Now every event we have newcomers come in. 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Sometimes 10, and they find their way in it. I can't tell you how many of the guys that was getting done. Man, Tony, this is awesome. There's some guys. I'm gonna call his name, Mr. Josh. He come from out towards Texas, and he says, this is the funnest I've had at one yet.
Yeah.
And he drove all the way from Texas out here to race, and he races everywhere. And for him to look at me and tell me on his way out, and he races all the time, and tell me, hey, look, this is the most fun I've ever had, man. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
Right.
It looked like a good time. It looked like a cold time. But it was fun. We were here, like I said, we were here in the spring. I didn't get to see not 1 minute of it. I'm glad I got to come and actually be a part of it. It's nice to get to see these different disciplines of motorsports, no matter what it is.
Right.
But I enjoyed myself today. You put on a pretty good show.
I love racing.
Hey.
I'll just continue doing it. And like I said, once I get it figured out, I'll let you guys know what we're going to do with the other stuff. And I appreciate y'all guys making the trip down. Appreciate everything you do for the industry, not just, whether it be hill racing or out here with us for the mud, but everything you guys do for the industry. We sure appreciate that.
Hey, we appreciate you.
Yeah. Right on, guys. We're going to go.
We'll see y'all next time.
Bye. This podcast is brought to you by Out the Top Media. Check us out on YouTube for race recap videos, tech tips, installs, product reviews, and much more.